Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the Init Esports Team America Talent Scout event. Today, we head over to the lovely Spa Francorchamps in the FIA F4 car for a little bit of formula racing, something that I think we're all familiar and excited for in the real world. And today, we get to bring it virtually out onto the track. I'm your host tonight, Mike Noss. Joined alongside me is Sagar Bakshi. Sagar, tonight we are in for an absolute thriller. We have not one, but two races ahead of us here tonight. And on top of that, of course, a load to talk about when it comes to previous events and future events as well. Speaking of that, why don't we just dive straight into what we have coming up in terms of our calendar. Right now, as you can see, yes, indeed, it is in fact April 12th, and we are here at Spa Francorchamps. Next up is going to be the Screen to Speed race at Tsukuba. That's going to be this coming weekend on the 19th if you are watching live. Beyond that, we have Team America heading over to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace in the LMP2s. That's going to be in May. After that, Road America in the GT3s. That's June. Olton will finish us off for the first half of our calendar, and that's all, of course, Team America. Our all-women's series as well, Screen to Speed, heads over, as I just said, to Tsukuba in the Toyota GR86s, and then moving on to Virginia International Raceway in the Formula V. Screen to Speed, all free content all the time, and we highly recommend you get involved if that interests you. On top of that, we have some new announcements as well. We get to head over to some NASCAR. We got some trucks that we're going to be racing. We just had a previous one at Charlotte. It went extremely well, and the racing was amazing. If you want to get involved with any of the stuff that I'm talking about, anything I will be talking about, scan those QR codes. They'll bring you over to the Discord and get you involved. Whether you're watching live here on TV, whether you're live on YouTube or Twitch or eClutch, we thank you for watching. Of course, a massive shout out to our partners, Esports Edge, for putting us on. More on that in a little bit. April 18th, though, that's going to be Texas Motor Speedway, the legacy Texas Motor Speedway in the trucks. It's going to be a roaring time, and if you are around, definitely do not want to miss it. Now, as we get into this as well, Sagar, we can talk a little bit more about the night. Spa in the F4s.
Well, we have a track of 4.3 miles or 7 kilometers. It was founded in 1921. We've done over a century of racing in Francorchamps, Belgium. 19 corners, 9 to the right, 10 to the left in these FIA F4 cars. We have two 20-minute heats coming at you to determine who's going to come out on top and who might be best of the rest. We've seen risers, we've seen fallers throughout this season so far. But who's going to come out at Spa when the drafting is going to be really the game changer tonight, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of some other events that we put on here at Init Esports, we have our midweek double dash, which just in the previous week, that's every Wednesday, by the way, we have this. So if this is something that interests you, we typically do free content, but on this previous weekend, we actually did a little bit of Spa in the F4, some practice for this Team America race, and I myself was out on track with some of the drivers. And you mentioned it, Sagar, the fact that this is going to be a little bit of a slipstream train, but at the end of the day, I think the dirty air is going to play a bit of a role as well. So we're going to expect a lot of passes down the Calm, down the backstretch, and of course through the bus stop chicane where a lot of overtakes are going to happen. However, I think it's going to be a little more difficult than we think to stay close behind in the Fangnes and down through Bruxelles, through No Name, and through the very high downforce parts of this track. As we obviously know, the Spa or the FIA F4 car, not really the most downforce, despite the fact that it looks like a very fancy aerodynamic beast, but it doesn't produce much more than a GT3.
You're absolutely right. The drivers are going to have to contend with the track conditions more than anything. As you noted, that dirty air is going to challenge them as they run up the hill through Eau Rouge and plummet through Radion. It's going to be a challenge, but that slipstream, I'm still going to bet, is going to be powerful coming down the Kemmel Straight into Lacombs for the first time, especially with the action-packed grid that we have. So many drivers registered for this season for the Team America Talent Scout events that are running pretty much all year round. And now we have a beautiful grid of at least 25 drivers ready to go racing here in just about 7 minutes time, Mike.
had quite some talented drivers taking to the grid as well. This is going to be a real exciting one. But before we get into that here tonight, I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody that makes these events possible, starting off with our title sponsor, of course, Regadget. If you're looking for a PC, or if you happen to have a PC laying around and you don't really know what to do with it, this is the outfit that you're looking for. Regadget.com is where you want to go. We'll have a QR code as well on the screen that you can scan and take a look as well at their gaming bundles that they have. So if you navigate over to regadget.com/gaming, you can actually find their new Phoenix bundle for an extremely affordable price. You can find a 3060 with 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte, plus 256 gigs of storage, all for around $1,500 USD. That's 1500. Nowadays, especially with the RAM prices going on and all of the various expenses that are being thrown onto all technology, well, this is the place to go if you're looking to find an affordable PC. Regadget, of course, they also partner with schools, they partner with various libraries, and of course, just lower income establishments, and get people access to computers that wouldn't necessarily have it. That, of course, goes on to the fact that you can send them your PC free of charge, might I add. They will pay for the shipping to send the PC over, and they're going to not throw it away. They're not going to put it in a landfill. No, they're going to refurbish it and make it something amazing and something that somebody can use that is maybe a little bit less fortunate. And also, again, head on over, check out their gaming PCs. Enough to handle iRacing with ease, but regardless of what games you're playing these days, this is where you want to find it. Go and pick up the Phoenix bundle. Scan that QR code and get a little bit of a discount as well if you use code INIT. Now, moving on, of course, we also have our eClutch sponsor as well. We're live on TV, folks. Yes, indeed. Hello, Mom. Live on eClutch over at Esports Edge. A massive shout out to the Esports Edge crew and everything that goes on there. Of course, we also are live in the MENA region over on eClutch TV. And iRacing for putting on these events as well and allowing us to use their platform. Sagar, let's talk a little bit about that format again tonight. So we've seen this in the past. Obviously, with our previous year, this is the second season of Team America Talent Scout event, by the way, in case anyone did miss it. The previous year, we had some longer races that allowed for a little more battles and more developed kind of fields. However, this time we have two 20-minute sprint races. And as you mentioned, the slipstreaming, the amount of dirty air that we're going to play a role with, I suspect a knife fight in a phone booth.
One of the things that I love about the Team America Talent Scout events is they always provide something different. How often do you get to see two back-to-back sprint races that pretty much are filled with the same grid of drivers? Unless you're in a private league event, you're not really going to run into this type of event format. So it's very unique, and it gives an opportunity to drivers that may not perform well every single time, that may not be perfect at hitting those marks, that may be involved in a mistake. They can redeem themselves for heat number 2, or perhaps go from 0 to hero for that second matchup. It's quite fun to see drivers like Roman Lee, Jordan Johnson climb through the ranks through heat 1 and then heat 2, really charge through the field and leave all the marbles on the table. So this format provides a lot of excitement and a lot of entertainment, but more importantly, the track car combo that was selected here today is a special one for everybody.
Yes, Formula Cars at Spa, again, something that we all know, we all love, and every single year is one of the most popular Formula One races, and on top of that is the oldest Formula One track that's still raced on today. While yes, we maybe don't use the original layout, which used trees as barricades rather than, I don't know, safety barriers and catch fences, definitely a little bit better take on the modern day safety standards, especially with recent events, of course, dating back to 2019 and the tragedies that happened, being changes just slightly throughout it, and a track that is near and dear to everyone's heart, but is one that, of course, that is a difficult one. You know, despite the fact that we talk about how simple it is to overtake, how everybody knows and everybody loves this track, well, there's also some difficulties. This is one of the longest tracks, so when it comes to qualifying especially, it's going to be down to the wire and making sure you hit your marks, hit your braking zones, and make sure that you get a valid lap, because if you invalidate just one time, you only get, well, it's a 10-minute qualifying, you're only going to get 3 laps tops more than likely, so it's going to be really down to the drivers to be absolutely pixel perfect.
You're very right about that, Mike. A couple of cracks at it as we're keeping an eye on the tower. You're right. Drivers are just getting to halfway through their third lap right now. So that's a out lap, 2 flyers, and maybe some change to get one in if you're lucky, but that's about it. Top speed in these Formula 4s, I'm looking at it as around 150. So not too quick around the track. Times trickling in around those 220s, 221s typically that you'd see around Spa. As you said, GT3 pace, or GT3 aero, I should say, for these cars. And here we can see the run up the treacherous Eau Rouge and Radion. And this is where drivers are really going to have to trust their car, and really that machine beneath them has to become a singularity to just drive the confidence up the hill. There's no other way to describe it. If you decide to back out, if you don't have the commitment, you're going to lose a whole heap of time. And especially in these low-ish downforce cars, you need to be going fast for the aero to be working in your favor. So the slower you're going, the riskier it'll actually be.
In this corner right here that you see on your screen, Bruxelles is going to be actually one of those corners that you talk about where me personally, I struggle a lot here because I, as you said, don't push the car hard enough through there. When drivers like Jordan Johnson, like Cale Davidson, and so on in the crowd up top, they're able just to get more out of that car. And Eau Rouge Radion being an easy flat in these FIA F4s, mainly, as you said, due to the speed, just their lower speed with somewhat downforce, a little bit on them, not quite as much as you would think, but they're easy flat through Eau Rouge Radion, and allowing that to kind of play a role. But it's going to be interesting with track limits. It's always very tight there. Now, I do want to talk briefly, Sagar. I just kind of want to back up slightly before we go too deep into Spa. You mentioned one of the kind of drives that we had a while back, and I want to take a look at Roman Lee and his drive at Daytona. Talking about this 2-race format where Roman was taken out early in race 1 at Daytona, but managed to climb his way back to, I think, 7th position in the race 1, and then managing to finish 3rd by the end of race 2. Let's see though, Sagar, this is how the grid is going to stack up here tonight for the race. Qualifying is done and dusted, and Jordan Johnson is the one on pole position. Your 2-time race winner so far this year for Team America Talent Scout event, or 2-time event winner, I should say. Bronson Turner coming home in 2nd place, 4 tenths off, with Dylan Batty behind in 3rd. Fryman coming home in 4th position, with Kelton Quick down in 5th. Cale Davidson, a 6th position, 7 tenths off the pace, not quite reminiscent of what he had in that free practice session that we were looking at earlier. Andrew Herschel coming home in 7th position. He's shooting for a top 3 today. Jacob Dick in 8th, with Aaron Brown behind in 9th, a very solid qualifying for the oval driver. Eric Halsband coming home in 10th and rounding out our top 10.
Then in that 11th spot will be Roman Lee, Norberto Alvarez Jr. in 12th, Sergio Restes in 13th, with Winnie Workman in 14th, Jason Willott in 15th, Brian Troyer in 16th, Javier Sierra in 17th, Jason Jones, Gerson Herrera, Bryce Jellison, rounding out the top 20, Mike.
Down to the final few drivers on the grid. It's going to be Adrian Puebla in 21st, Morgan Stringer in 22nd. No times recorded, by the way. This is kind of indicative of that invalidations that I was talking about. Wesley Shaw, 23rd, Max Bowman, 24th, and rounding out last, but certainly not least, is going to be the Camber and Caster owner and founder, Jesse Laverin. Now, getting into the race itself, Sagar, I'm gonna be honest, this is not the order that I had chalked up heading into this. Some big names that stick out of position, in my opinion here. Andrew Herschel qualifying in 7th position, quite a bit off the pace. Jacob Dick with a very solid qualifying in 8th position. Nathaniel Fryman, he's always consistent, managing to sneak on the podium a couple races ago, now up in 4th. He's going to be trying that again. Dylan Batty, a name that I, again, wouldn't have expected in P3, but look at that. He's managing quite well. And here is a little bit of the calm before the storm. The drivers gridded up, and this, Sagar, is when their nerves are going to be at the all-time high. It's sort of that hurry up and wait moment for the lights to come on and us to begin here at Spa. And here we go. Lights are getting ready to come on here as Jordan Johnson is going to lead us away here for event 3 of the Team America Talent Scout event. And we are green racing. Johnson shot out of the start like a cannon. It's a little bit of battling in the background behind. Cale Davidson also going side by side with Kelton Quick. Up at the front, Dylan Batty making moves on to Bronson Turner. Side by side down the hill, somebody's going to have to give an Eau Rouge Radion. Behind that, it is all clean and green racing. Unfortunately, it looks like a black flag, though, for Andrew Herschel, potentially a jump start. And as we get down into Eau Rouge Radion and into the compression sauger, nip and tuck for the field, but this is where the gloves come off.
It's very tight between Dylan Batty and Nathaniel Fryman up at the front. It's going to be Jordan Johnson running away with, though. We're nearly going to go 3 wide further back between Turner, Batty, and Fryman.
Everybody managing to settle out into the Lacombe chicane. No movers in the top 4. Cale Davidson up 1 position. Kelton Quick down 1. Aaron Brown gaining 2 positions. Early yellow flags, though, as it looks like Jesse Laverin has clawed his way through. I think that's Brian Troyer. Oh no, Brian getting caught up in an incident. It looks like in Lacombe. Not sure what happened there. Hopefully maybe we can get a replay of that. But at the moment, we're riding on board here with Nathaniel Fryman. And this sauger, this is where that dirty air is going to really start to play a role. We get into the long left-hander Apuan. You can see just how aggressive it is, especially on these first few laps with cold tires. You have to be tiptoeing. That slipstream playing a bit of a role already, but this is where we're really going to see the drivers in the background. Nathaniel Fryman having that cumulative effect. You can see how quick he's going through the corners. My goodness, it's looking like dirty air isn't even a thing.
That was an insane drive. The run coming through campus, and Stavlot is looking good for the driver behind. That's Cale Davidson trying to shake and bake his way up into a podium position tonight. P4 for now will have to do for Cale Davidson, who's up 2 positions around the outside, leading down in towards Blanchimont. It's going to be a good run, but the inside line is where you want to be, going down in towards the bus stop chicane.
Oh, and from the background, who is that? That's going to be Aaron Brown, I think that is, sending it down into the inside. Now that forces Nathaniel Fryman, it looks like, is an overreaction. He goes off the track as a result and is almost certainly going to have a slowdown penalty. Behind that, Cale Davidson is going to see that, and he is not going to take no for an answer. Behind Aaron Brown, still trying to get involved. He's side by side with Kelton Quick now. A bit of a wiggle for Aaron Brown. That might cost him a position or 2 as we go back down the hill here. Momentum is everything, and it looks like, unfortunately for the car on the outside, oh goodness, he manages to make it through. Nathaniel Fryman, he's looking in his rearview mirror at Kelton Quick saying, what do I do now? Oh, and he makes a mistake. Through goes Fryman, through goes Quick, through goes Jacob, through goes Eric, and now he just plummets down the field. Nathaniel Fryman with 1 simple mistake.
That's all it takes, especially when it comes down to spec racing. These cars and drivers are so well equipped to go wheel to wheel, toe to toe, and blow for blow. They're just gonna do it round after round and lap after lap. We're only 1 lap into this race, but drivers are already gaining 5, 7, 8 positions. Jesse Laverin starting from the back of the pack in the number 83 for Camber and Castor. The number 79 of Javi Sierra is up 1 position in P16. Adrian Pueblo and Norberto Alvarez in changing positions, but Aaron Brown and Kelton Quick are here and now exchanging their positions. Aaron Brown in front of Kelton Quick and Jacob Dick behind, but Jacob Dick doesn't want to be there for too long. He knows that he's losing time to the guys in front.
Very frustrating if you know that you have the pace, but you're stuck by a driver here like Aaron Brown. Now, nothing against Aaron Brown. Again, up 5 positions, started in P9, currently in P4. And Aaron, not to take anything away from him, he's a NASCAR driver. At the end of the day, ovals are his expertise. So seeing him out here and doing such a good job in the Formula cars is amazing to see. This, by the way, is an update. If you're a Morgan Stringer fan, you might want to turn your head as let's see what happened. Morgan Stringer had a 22nd place start. Down into the first corner here, looks like just got tangled up with the number 11, unfortunately. That's going to be Adrian Puebla. He's stranded, making a move back into the line, and unfortunately for them, that's a very unfortunate mistake. And oh, and we're rejoining. As I was just singing the praises about Aaron Brown, his front left wheel is no longer attached, and he's heading into the pit lane.
Oh man, just when things were going right for some of our heavy hitters, they turn themselves upside down so quickly. That's what Spa can do to a driver, especially with a track that's so wide and cars that are so narrow. We're going to get a replay of this incident coming down into the bus stop chicane. It looked good and on, well, just until it wasn't. And then you're stuck there on the racing line and, well, stewards are going to have a look at that one.
Certainly will. Hold your brakes, folks. That's the unfortunate one there. Well, the calm is not as calm as it was a few laps ago as we immediately come back to another tangle up here. This is going to be Jacob Jick and Sergio Orestes getting involved with each other, and that is an FIA F4 without a wing, Sauger. That's not quite showroom ready, and unfortunately the Camber and Caster team is going to be a little upset about that one.
Well, we were talking about the downforce of the vehicles. Maybe Sergio is going for downforce reduction here at Spa Francorchamps and trying to get a little bit more top speed. Let's get a quick replay of what happened between Orestes. Well, there's just a huge gaggle of cars coming down the Kemmel Straight, and this is going to lead down into an accident right before the braking zone of Lacombs, and that's going to be the collector there.
I'm not sure who that was on the outside, but it's hard to call. Again, the stewards are going to have a heck of a time with this one. Call it a racing incident for now, at least from a third-party, non-biased commentator. That's a hard one. 3 wide into Lecom. 3 doesn't go into 1, unfortunately, and I think that's kind of what we saw there. 2 drivers getting taken out quite violently and having to make a trip down pit lane. I think there is 1 fast repair, so they will be able to get by. And hold that thought, we have had a lead change. Dylan Batty has flown through this field like a bat out of hell. He's past Bronson Turner, and he's past Jordan Johnson. What has happened to Jordan? He is now down 2 positions. There must have been a mistake, or alternatively, Sauger, I wonder if these 3 are working together a little bit.
Working together to try to escape the field behind, most likely so. That would make sense to me. And here comes Eric Halsband down the pit lane to get some service repairs and try to get back onto the racetrack. We're not even at the halfway point. Here goes Nathaniel Fryman and Roberto Alvarez Jr. Number 99 is up 5. And we have Gerson Herrera, Winnie Workman, Javier Sierra, and Jesse Lavrin. Just behind this battle here is going to be the 3-way battle for the lead. Coming down the Kemmel Straight, it's going to be side by side into the braking zone. We're going to have to go single file line for at least the duo there on entry. It will be Johnson, then Turner, and then Batty.
This is really hard racing, but it's clean hard racing. Yes, they went 3 wide, but every driver left plenty of room, and everyone's giving each other the respect here. So while we answered the question of are these 3 working together, no, it's an affirmative, absolutely not. But I think even still, despite the fact that they're not working quote-unquote together, they aren't working against each other necessarily. Now, there's still plenty of time left in this race. Yes, it's a 20-minute sprint race, but with 12 minutes left, a lot of things can develop. We've already seen it already. Every single lap is a different adventure for some drivers, some unfortunately having to take that venture down pit lane, like Adrian Puebla, like Jacob Dick, and a few others. And Eric Halsband as well, another driver that's been kind of plummeted down the order quite a bit, down to 17th position. Wasn't 10th at the start here, but it's a very unfortunate one for some. But this, I guess, goes to tell us race 2 is going to be just that much more exciting.
Really is. As I said earlier during the pre-race show, I mean, Spa Francorchamps, these F4s, I mean, so many notable drivers have won their first Formula One race at the iconic circuit Spa Francorchamps. I just wonder, who is it going to be for Team Talent Scout USA? It's just got to be someone new, I'm hoping, at very least, as we go side by side into the fastest corner on the track of Blanchimont. That's still going to be Jordan Johnson's way in front of Bronson Turner. Here we go over to Winnie Workman and Gerson Herrera. Javier Sierra lurking behind. Here's the replay. Up the hill we go. Through a Rouge. And now through Radion. The 3 wide looks gorgeous. Like you said, plenty of breath given all along each other, and everybody keeping it calm, cool, and collected at the end of the day. Drivers are well equipped to do some side-by-side battling, Mike, and I'm absolutely here for it.
Jordan Johnson, no slouch whatsoever. And speaking of Jordan Johnson, he's currently being overtaken by Bronson Turner side by side down into Lake Home. Jordan is not going to give it up, though. It looks like he was hesitant there at first to keep the position, but he goes and defends it quite hard, gives the shoulder to Bronson Turner. Bronson can't quite collect it, collects the gravel instead, and leaves a rear wing and a front wing on the sidelines for the Marshals. He is crab walking back to the pit lane, Sauger.
Oh no, Bronson Turner having some serious suspension damage as he can barely keep this car tracking the way he intends it to. He's got to keep off the racing line here, at least in a predictable fashion, for the other drivers to be able to make their way by safely. It's going to be a long trip back to pit lane, but Bronson Turner unfortunately does have that meatball flag, and it's going to limp it back home. Let's get a replay of what happened to Turner. And it just looked like at the exit of Malmedy, he got a little tank slapper, caught it, and then lost it when he touched the gravel. Again, loses it, catches it, loses it again. And just, oh, it would have been top 10 of the year on iRacing clips had he had made that save.
Almost certainly. Unfortunately for him, it is the top 10 iRacing. I wouldn't call it top 10 iRacing fails. That's a bit harsh. I apologize.
That's harsh.
It's an unfortunate mistake, to be honest. I can't say that I wouldn't make that one myself. Let's take a look a little further back down the field, though. This is a fight for the top 10, and Jesse Laverin, he is in the top 10, up 15 positions. My goodness. Again, the Camber and Caster owner. For anyone curious, what is Camber and Caster? Well, they're a sim hangout center down in the San Diego, the greater San Diego area. If you are interested, go check them out. They're awesome. You got hangouts, Formula One watch parties, sim racing, you name it. Get involved. They are awesome. Sierra having a little bit of a dance with Turner. That was Turner, excuse me, that was going into the pit lane. So that's his stop there from that meatball flag. But up at the top, unfortunately, Jordan Johnson now with a 1.3 second gap. We saw how powerful that slipstream is, and Dylan Batty just needs to find a little more pace, get himself within those grips of Jordan again, and I think that fight for P1 will certainly still be on the cards. Now, talking about battles, everywhere you look, there's going to be one. Here's one from Roman Lee. I talked about his poor qualifying result. Doesn't seem to matter that much for this young gun. 8 positions gained.
Running it now into the top 3. Patient and consistent are the 2 phrases I would use to describe Roman Lee. We've seen him run across different series before, and he's been a heavy hitter across those championship seasons. And here's them 2 by 2 between Andrew Herschel, Jesse Laverin, Winnie Workman, and Javier Sierra in tow. Jesse Laverin, the Camber and Caster driver, up ahead of Winnie Workman right now, but Workman's trying to work their way around the outside now.
When he backs out, very intelligent driving. A big wiggle, though, from Jesse Laverin. Is this going to give the opportunity, actually, to Winnie Workman that we're looking right now? Herschel is struggling up ahead, just trying to keep it on the circuit. Oh, goodness, that looked like contact, but thankfully it wasn't. Or if it was light enough to the fact that neither car got unsettled. But I find it hard to believe there was contact in that high-speed corner, and nothing happened. The cars were planted like a tree, like an old oak behind them. Also, Sierra has joined the party. Oh, goodness. Everywhere you look, this is mistake central down to the inside of the Fangnas. This isn't the best overtaking opportunity, but Winnie Workman, he is under pressure right now. Jesse Laverin trying to get a hurry up on. I'm not sure how much I like that decision. He's up 15 positions. He has the pace. Let it come to him. Make the moves in the spots that count. For example, the bus stop chicane coming up. This is a good opportunity. Use the slipstream. Use the momentum. Use the inside line if you can. Essentially, if Winnie Workman gives it to you, he's not going to, though. He goes hard defensive on the inside. Jesse does not care, sends it around the outs, going to try to switch it back up. Needs to be very careful, though, as Sierra is going to have a great run, and unfortunately, I think Jesse has played himself.
My golly, Miss Molly, Jesse Laverin having the poor run of things, went from top of this pack to the back of it, quick, fast, in a hurry, and that's what I mean. Spa can really overturn a lot of things, and the slipstream being so powerful for the drivers behind, and here is an example of that. Quick trying to get by Lee uses the power of the slipstream and the draft to pull alongside coming down the Kemmel straight. And then into Lacombe's, it's as easy as apple pie. You just have to get onto the brakes a little bit later than your opponent, as Roman Lee is doing that here at Bruxelles. And he's going to find his way back through at one of the slower corners on the track, actually.
And Roman Lee, by the way, just a reminder, in case anyone did miss the Red Bull Ring GT4 race that we had in the previous month, Roman Lee came second in that race in overall. So doing an incredible job. Roman never really fails to deliver, again, in terms of his consistency, and he's such a young driver as well. I think 17, 18, I can't remember exactly, but he is, again, it's just extremely young. I think he just turned 18 fairly recently. Of course, my producer, Tom Bryant, whispering in my ear, telling me that. And of course, a massive shout out again to AK Esports UK for putting on this production, in case you guys did miss that earlier. Back to the battling, though, as it seems it does not get any sort of relief. Sierra is going to get by Winnie Workman. Jesse Laverin's going to follow suit, actually, as Winnie with a big mistake here, kicking up some gravel on the outside. I'd imagine this battle is certainly not done yet, and neither is the one with Roman Lee and Kelton Quick. Kelton all over him like a rash right now. In fact, that inside line is looking quite juicy into the bus stop chicane. He's fully alongside. He has the momentum. And unfortunately for Roman Lee, I don't see any way he can defend this on this occasion. He hands it over and says, all right, you go. We're just going to do the same thing in the next straight. Down through Lacombe. Expect Roman Lee to overtake Kelton Quick. Or, well, Sauger, maybe not. Down into the first corner. Here we go. Roman Lee, full send baseball, makes it stick. It's a little too aggressive, though, in my opinion, for that inside line. This is going to give quite the run to Kelton Quick. Is it enough, though? He is going to commit, but somebody has to give. Side by side into a Rouge Radion is almost terrifying. It is terrifying, and Kelton Quick keeps his foot in it. He's going to get ahead. Or is he?
At flat out speeds, the drivers are going to come down the straightaway at 148 miles per hour. Down the back stretch or down the front stretch we go into Lacombe's. This is going to be the 8th lap of running so far, and the battle for the podium is still very much undecided, as Lee and Quick want to resolve that within the next 2 minutes, Mike. The clock is ticking.
Wow, I didn't even realize that, to be honest. Yeah, we're down to the final couple laps now, so white flag is going to be shown on the next time around. Look at the battles a little further down the field. This is Eric Halsband, a multiple podium winner here at Team America, and somebody that, again, we expect to be quite up there in the rankings. It's unfortunate to see him down in this order. He's had to make a pit stop at some point, and it's very unfortunate. He still has the pace, though. As you can see, he gets fully alongside Shaw. It looks like this should be a pretty easy overtake. It's going to be a very wide line from Shaw, hands it over to Eric Halsband, and that is going to be that. Another driver behind, Bronson Turner, down 12 positions. He's on his recovery stretch here from that pit stop that he made earlier, getting collected. And again, stewards will be investigating, so any of these penalties that you see and are wondering, will they be penalized, will be done in the post-race. So just for anyone curious. This, though, battle back for P3. Kelton Quick getting by Roman Lee once again. I think this is a bit of deja vu. Let's see how it ends up in terms of the braking zone. Roman, this time with the inside line. Kelton gonna actually just get it done before we get there. Now let's see, Saga, are we gonna go for it into the first corner again?
Let's see. It's going to be a drag between the two drivers, but I think Lee is just a little too far back this time around, so things are going to calm down. I think he's going to express a little bit of patience now because he wants to get the move done going into the bus stop chicane. You don't want to leave the opportunity for the driver behind to have the slipstream coming through Blanchimont, because then they'll just have a better run on you. Roman Lee now falls in single file line, as I suspected, but Quick backs out seemingly. Lee with a good run might fall prey to, I think, Kelton Quick's trap that he is setting.
Very well may. Let's see as we get to the braking zone. I almost thought Kelton Quick was going to pull the trigger there, but you're absolutely right, Sauger. It looks like he's going to wait for the bus stop and try to go side by side to the line. Jesse Laverin, not quite in that situation. He wants to get the moves on now. Andrew Herschel up ahead, a driver that is absolutely no slouch. He's going to close the door in Jesse's face and go a little bit back. I wouldn't call that weaving. I think that's all fair movement. He does hold his line back on the second occasion, so a lot of movement, an aggressive defense from Andrew Herschel, but certainly a fair one. He's being quite the good doorman, you could say.
That was a very definition of a fair defense. One move over, one move back to the racing line. That's all you get. No more weaving, no more bobbing, no more peeking. None of that fancy stuff. That was a fair defense back there. But for now, Jordan Johnson, who had his bout of fair defense in the first 5 minutes of this race, well, he's had a pretty quiet remainder thus far. The Team America driver prospect started the race in P1, has led us from the word go, but not for every single lap. He had Dylan Batty, Roman Lee, Kelton Quick, and don't forget about our man Nathaniel Fryman in P5. They all battled for the lead at one point in time, but Jordan Johnson's going to take the victory here for heat number 1 at Spa Francorchamps.
A great drive from Jordan Johnson. Still a battle from behind. It is going to be Batty, Lee, Quick. Let's see, is it going to be Fryman or Alvarez that follows into that P5? It looks like it is going to be Fryman this time. Alvarez not able to get by. Herschel side by side with Winnie Workman right now, down into the final chicane. Who's going to get it? It looks like Andrew's going to keep that aggressive line, keep the inside. The switchback, though, as Winnie Workman's going to have the momentum. It's going to be a photo finish to the line, but Andrew Herschel is going to manage it. 9th position for him. Winnie Workman coming home in 10th. Jesse Laverin, 14 positions gained, our biggest gainer of the night, up into 11th. 12 positions gained for Gerson Herrera as well. A great drive for some, an unfortunate one for others, Sauger, but the one thing that I think this does is this kind of is the more of the qualifying order that I would have expected. Now, yes, there are a couple names that are missing in this one, as obviously we had Cale Davidson taken out early and a few others that would be up in those positions. But right now, Roman Lee in P3, Kelton Quick in 4th, starting behind Jordan Johnson, while Jordan, I wouldn't call it an easy race for him this time. I think he's going to have a bit more of a run for his money as we head into race 2.
I think so. It's going to be a bit of a difficulty for Jordan Johnson to go for the repeat victory here for the race at Spa, but if anybody can do it, he can. He's been time and time victor before. He might pull out the double trouble for us and even go for that hat trick for Team America. But I still have my eyes set on Roman Lee and also Gerson Herrera. I can't forget about Jesse Laverin, the late shower with no qualifying, started at the very end of the field. Like you said, gained 14 positions up into P11. What a charge.
Absolutely. And Jesse has had quite, not just a good season this year, but even into last year, he maybe didn't start this season off the best. However, as we got down to the end and in Laguna and the GR86s in the Laguna 45, he managed to finish in 3rd position. Now, the Laguna 45, for anyone that managed to miss that in the previous year in December, that was a very chaotic race. It was crazy. And honestly one of the best races I've seen in a very long time, and I unfortunately didn't even have the pleasure of calling it. But Jesse managing to finish in second with Mark Lurick ahead in third, or excuse me, Mark Lurick in second, Jesse in third. We didn't see the mark out there today, unfortunately, but still, love to see that Jesse's doing an incredible job. Keep it up. Of course, the owner down at Camber and Castor. But that's race one done, Sauger, and as we get ready to break it down here, I'm trying to think, where do I want to start? Because there's kind of, there's a few incidents that we can talk about.
There's a few incidents that happen, but mostly just results of true accidents, I think. It's the beauty of the Team America Talent Scout group of drivers and registrations that we have, is that everybody's out here genuinely just trying their best. So we're seeing drivers maybe driving at 100% or 102% of their capabilities and perhaps breaking the barriers of what they're capable of for now, just for now. But they're trying to push that threshold and get faster and faster.
And let's take a look here, by the way, at our results. These are our unofficial results after race one, by the way. Of course, stewarding still yet to happen. But taking the win by 3.7 seconds was Jordan Johnson, number 12. Dylan Batty coming home in second position behind. A great little three-way fight for a while, but unfortunately that contact kind of played that battle to an end. Roman Lee coming home with third position with 8 positions gained. Kelton Quick battling for third, but not able to get it. Finishes in fourth this time around. Nathaniel Fryman coming home in fifth with Roberto Alvarez Jr. in sixth. Gerson Herrera in seventh with Javier Sierra down in eighth. Andrew Herschel coming in ninth, and Winnie Workman rounding out your top 10.
Jesse Lavrin there in 11th place with Eric Hausband in 12th position. Bronson Turner in 13th, Wesley Shaw in 14th. Sergio Orestes, the number 86, came back in 15th. Bryce Jellison in 16th. Cale Davidson was back 1 minute and was in 17th position with Brian Troyer, not too far behind. Aaron Brown and Jacob Dick round out the top 20.
Yeah, an unfortunate one for some down at the bottom. Jason Jones, Morgan Stringer, Adrian Puebla, and Max Bowman. Unfortunately, a rough one as well. Aaron Brown, I think, is one that we can talk about. We saw that incident earlier, and really through no fault of his own. And again, the stewards will have a look at it. Did he close the gap? Was it a dive bomb? I'm honestly not sure, but the results are the same. And Aaron Brown, who was doing such an incredible job, doing amazing, especially with the qualifying, you hate to see him get taken out in that way. So I'm really hoping for a solid recovery drive from Aaron as we get ready to head into race 2. The drivers, of course, getting a little bit of a breather here. Just take a quick cool down for them so they can get a drink of water, as of course, as we just saw, Sauger, it can get quite spicy and quite sweaty when it comes to these drivers, and I would imagine that translates into the rig as well.
You know, I was actually just thinking about the physicalities of what it would feel like to be driving around at Spa in an F4, you know, sitting in my own comfortable rig, but the pressure is on, right? You're competing with some of the best drivers in North America, battling it out for good bragging rights here at Esports, Team America Talent Scout. It's just, your blood is pumping, your adrenaline is going. It's a great feeling to have.
Absolutely. And for anyone curious as well, what is the Team America Talent Scout event? That is a great question. This is the international competition roster for any nation-based sim racing. So Team America is not just about one race necessarily. You don't be a part of the team by winning one. No, it's about how you perform in different cars, different tracks, different manufacturers throughout different races. And we'd love to see, of course, as well, coming into this next season, as we've only announced the first half of the year, this calendar. So do expect within the next couple months us to release the second half. Expect some maybe ovals, some other sorts of stuff. I won't say exactly what we're going to be doing, but there's going to be some different types of racing that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. On top of that, we have our all-women's championship as well. They get ready to head over to Tsukuba in the Toyota GR86. That's going to be April 19th. That's this coming weekend if you're watching live. get involved, get out on track with us, and we have a practice race coming up. We don't have a QR code for this one, but I will announce that this week we will be in our Wednesday league or Wednesday events in midweek double dash. We're going to be driving at Tsukuba in the GR86s. Again, all free content. We highly encourage you to get involved, and this will just get you a little bit of preparation if you need for the upcoming event. Get out on track with all of the fine women and have some fun as well. We'll be streaming it live on the Init Esports Twitch channel, and you don't want to miss out. Of course, powered, again, by Regadget. And speaking of Regadget, great segue right there, you think? No. Scan that QR code, shop.regadget.com, or you can head over to regadget.com/gaming. You can find their Phoenix bundle, and if you use code INIT, you can find yourself with a little bit of a discount as well. Again, the Phoenix bundle, an extremely great deal if you're in the market for a PC. Coming in at $1,500, $1,500, you get an i7 with a 3060, 32 gigs of RAM, plus a terabyte, or 1.5 terabytes, give or take, a little less, than of storage, Windows 11 Pro, and so much more. And I mean, look at that beast. It is an absolute workhorse of a computer, and certainly for the price, it gets the job done. Again, not just for sim racing, it works great for iRacing, but all different types of gaming. Whether you're playing League of Legends or any of the MOBAs or fun Counter-Strikes or whatnot, get involved. You can get yourself a PC at Regadget. Also, if you want to send them your PC as well and prevent PCs from going to the landfill, prevent them from going to waste, Regadget will literally pay for the PC to be sent to them so they can go and refurbish it and turn it into something amazing. You don't want to miss out. If you have a PC that's just laying around a hunk of junk, don't let it go to the landfill. Send it over to Regadget. They'll repurpose it and get it out to somebody that needs it. Now, on top of that, of course, I want to thank all of our other sponsors as well, aka Esports UK, for putting on this production with our producer, Tom Bryant, who you guys can't see, but we get to hear in our ears. We also, of course, thank eClutch for being live on their platform in the MENA region, and then Esports Edge, we're live over on Roku. So big shout out to them and a massive thank you to everybody that is on that team and making all of this wonderful stuff happen. And again, if you want to check out the Discord, by the way, head on over to the Init Esports website. You can find a link to our Discord there. Or alternatively, you can head over to the Twitch page or YouTube channel. There's links everywhere. You can Google it. Get involved. Get into the Init Esports Discord. You don't want to miss out. Now, Sauger, I think that's enough talking when it comes to that. Let's prepare a little bit here for race 2. Jordan Johnson, obviously being the talk of the town for pretty much, well, every race so far this year of Team America. He's been unstoppable as of late. What do we need to do to stop him? Or what does Dylan Batty, what does Roman Lee, what does Kelton Quick need to do here coming into race 2 to get the edge over Jordan Johnson?
There's two keys here. Easy and simple as American pie. Work together and disrupt his rhythm. If Dylan Batty, Roman Lee, and Kelton Quick can use their slipstream to challenge each other to, I correct that statement, to work together with their slipstream, to not challenge each other, to only challenge Jordan Johnson as a team, well, I think that's exactly what it's going to take for them to claim the 1, 2, 3 and leave Jordan Johnson potentially in the dust.
That would be very interesting. I'm curious. Obviously, we know telling racing drivers to work together, I would say 50-50, but it's not. It's probably more like 10% chance of that actually working. But I absolutely love the concept. I have to agree with you. I think you're completely right. Maybe some more NASCAR-style tactics for Roman would help out, working with Kelton. But after we saw last race and how aggressive Kelton and Roman were being, now again, aggressive in a good way where it comes to being fair. There was no egregious dive bombs. There was no overly, aggressive moves or anything of that nature. It was fair racing, wheel to wheel the whole time. But Roman just kind of was able to eke him out at the end there with the pace. And again, just transferring back and forth with strategy. I would say wasting time, but worked out for Roman in this case. He managed to secure himself a podium and 8 positions gained.
Yeah, great haul of points for Roman Lee. I mean, imaginary points, let's say, as we're not keeping track. Just the bragging rights here for Team America, but we're also tracking drivers that can perform well through adversity, right? So starting from the back of the pack, coming through the field, racing cleanly, going side by side, and here we are, gridded up, Mike.
we get ready here with the lights coming on at Spa Francorchamps. This is going to be race 2 of the Team America Talent Scout event, event 3, and we are underway. This time it's a very even start up at the front. Jordan Johnson and Batty getting off quite well. In the background, it looks like Fryman is going to be making a move down to the inside of not just one, but 3 drivers, 3 wide into the first corner, and we are alive and racing. No contact being made just yet, but this is where the gloves start to come off. Down the hill into Owner's Radion and the compression. This is where the exit matters. The overspeed is going to be absolutely everything. Side by side in the background, it looked like for some, as it's going to be all heck breaking loose here in a moment. Roman Lee side by side with Kelton Quick. Looking to get moves done quickly is Kelton. Where's Jordan? He's side by side in this matter as well. It's going to be nearly 4 abreast heading into the braking zone of Lake Combe. Roman, what's happening to him? He's getting absolutely swamped down the order to P7. He got a slowdown penalty, it looks like, through the first few corners. So that's what that yellow flag is going to be representing. He's losing so much time, Sauger, as a result. But Dylan Batty up into second, Kelton Quick third, but Jordan Johnson, he is the one to lead here, at least halfway through lap 1.
So the driver is able to clear their slowdown penalties down into No Name, Speaker's Corner, whatever you want to call it now. And now we're going to go through one of the fastest corners on the track. It's going to be Pouan, single file line here on lap number 1. Taking a look at Bronson Turner in the number 81, already up 2 on the good for the evening. And then now over to Gerson Herrera, who's challenging Roman Lee, who's narrowly ahead and holding every single breath he can. Because behind, he's got a train of cars, starting with Gerson Herrera, Javier Sierra, Andrew Herschel. Here's Brown, and that's going to be Sergio Orestes.
Aaron Brown up 6 positions already, my goodness. And same with Cale Davidson, 2 drivers getting off to a very solid start. Now, I'm hoping for Aaron Brown, he can keep his nose out of trouble here. This is, again, these are the drives that we're looking for, because we know that Aaron has probably had to put in quite a bit of work to get up to pace with some of these drivers. He's an oval specialist, and I know from Aaron, again, I'm not saying this to be rude, it's just I know from talking with him, he's not the best when it comes to circuit racing. But here, he is proving himself completely wrong, getting the move done on the Bronson Turner, and I, commentator, cursed him again. Aaron Brown gets collided at the apex and spins around, drops down the order, Sauger. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, that's just not the way you like to see battles, and unfortunately, that's just the way they go. In the background here, we've got Cale Davidson and Winnie Workman, the 6 and the 15 here as we ride on board with Andrew Herschel's rear wing. We're going to see the drivers get up to maximum speed, pushing only around 140, 150 miles per hour down the straightaway maximum. So it leads to be a very slow lap here around Spa. Best lap so far, only into the 225s, as appears to be Javier Sierra off in the distance. Yes, it is Javier Sierra. The number 79 driver rejoins the racetrack now. But Kelton Quick and Roberto Alvarez Jr. through No Name. And they might give a name to this one. It's going to be passing opportunity, apparently, because Kelton Quick keeps on finding them there.
Now, let's give a little moment, actually, to shout out Roberto Alvarez Jr. That's a name I don't think we've talked about too much, but he's sort of just been Mr. Consistent this race so far, managing to qualify, I think, quite well, finished in race 1 quite well, and now doing a great job here in race 2. So sort of the sleeping giant that nobody has really been talking about, but one to certainly keep an eye on. Great job so far. Looking at this battle, though, between Cale Davidson and Gerson Herrera, looks like it's going to be a bit of back and forth, and oh no, Cale Davidson looks like he moved over. Hard to call, but the results are the same. He's stranded in the kitty litter, and oh goodness me, that's Winnie Workman that has been absolutely binned into a million pieces. And Morgan Stringer, and somebody else. Oh my goodness, Sauger, what just happened?
And the carnage just does not stop coming through campus and Stavlot, unfortunately. Over to the leader, Jordan Johnson, who is running away with the lead. 7/10 the gap to Dylan Batty behind. And the fast laps start trickling in. Drivers putting into those 223 lows up at the front.
Continuing this fighting. I don't think this is going anywhere. We have 15 minutes left, by the way, folks. We're already 5 minutes in. It feels like, again, we basically just went green. The time is flying by. They say time flies when you're having fun. I don't know how much fun these drivers are having. I'm certain it's a lot, let's be honest. This is what racing is. What drivers come out for is to race. You don't call yourself a racing driver because you can drive around a track really quick. No, you call yourself a racing driver because you can go side by side down the back stretch and into Lake Calm. Now, who is gonna give here? Kelton Quick has been aggressive, but he's not able to get it done just yet. Roberto Alvarez Jr., stellar driving thus far. Nathaniel Fryman, also no slouch at all. He's been doing an incredible drive in both race 1 and 2. Let's take a little bit of a hop back though, Sauger. This is Andrew Herschel, and this is what happened, at least one of the collisions that happened here in the Fangnes and leading into the campus corner. So he's got a front row seat of exactly what happened, and it's really just unlucky that he got involved himself. It looks like he made it out without too much damage though, so maybe just getting by the skin of his teeth. The contact model playing a role there, but great job to get out of that, but an unfortunate one to lead into.
Yeah, it's just, you never like to see battles end that way, accidents or not. You know, it's just unfortunate. I wish these battles would last the entire 20 minutes. But we have so many to pick from now. I guess it's good that we don't have them all battling within 2/10 of each other. Then we'd really have Tom Bryant working his wheels off to try to get us the right camera angles. As you said, thank you very much to Tom Bryant for getting us these camera angles and the shots of Kelton Quick trying to go side by side, 2x2 through Blanchimont now, and it's still going to be flat out for all the drivers, but is it going to be the opportune run to have the inside line going into the bus stop chicane? The highlighter machine of Roman Lee goes through, and that's going to be Roman Lee, Kelton Quick, and then Roberto Alvarez Jr. who gets the worst of it.
Yeah, Alvarez, I think, got tagged slightly or lost it on the curbing. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it was such a good drive up till then. Still a great drive, certainly not one to take away. Jacob Dick, is that the fastest lap in P13? My goodness, as he goes locks up down into the first corner. Oh no, we got spinners everywhere. That's going to be Orestes that's gone around. It looks like through an unforced error, late on the brakes. Now we join with Adrian Puebla side by side down the hill as we go into Eau Rouge and Radion. Bronson Turner under pressure, but how do you stop Adrian Puebla? He is up 16 positions so far, Sauger, and he's looking to make this number 17 right now. Side by side into the braking zone. It looks like he's actually got the overspeed. I think he might have this done before we even get there. It's a squeeze and a half, though, as they both share the center of the track. The racing line is for Adrian, but the inside is for Turner. Looks like, or Adrian, excuse me, through Turner is going to be left behind.
Over to Jacob Dick's battle. He's locked in. Bronson Turner, Adrian Puebla, the leader of this pack. And Eric Hausband, Jacob Dick, Jesse Lavrin, Cale Davidson, Jason Jones. Is anybody else involved in this mix? Not here, not now, as we switch over to Roberto Alvarez Jr. and Kelton Quick. And they were going to resolve this one through Puon to be single file Nathaniel Fryman in fourth place, and just ahead is going to be Roman Lee, leading the third on back.
Now, while all of this has been going on, we have a leader, by the way. Jordan Johnson. There he is on your screen right now. He's sort of disappeared, unfortunately. Dylan Batty keeping up. He's still, I would say, in that slipstream window. He's kind of just breaking out of the slipstream window. It's right around that 8/10 mark. 1 second, you're still picking up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to gain too much speed. We talked about the top speed of these cars. They top out around 137 without a helping hand. You can maybe get them up to 138. But when you have a car in front of you, as Sauger said, these cars can go nearly up to 150 miles an hour. The slipstream makes that much of a difference. This is a bit of a head scratcher. 3 wide into the braking zone potentially. It looks like Jacob Dick is going to be trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes here, but it's going to be Cale Davidson with a strategic play to get to the outside, use the momentum, and gain a position for free. Let's see if he can do that again onto Jacob Dick.
Looked the bob, the weave to the inside line, further back at the first corner, and then we got a spinner. That's going to be Andrew Herschel. No.
Well, that's going to need looked into. I was taking a drink of water and I almost spit it out. That is very unfortunate. Oh, goodness me. Well, again, hold your brakes, folks. That's something that definitely needs to be done. Let's ignore that for right now. Let's go back to the side-by-side battle for P4 and P6 right now is Kelton Quick, Alvarez Jr., Roman Lee, and there is going to be another one. Kelton Quick quickly going around, and he doesn't get too much damage, it looks like, so we will continue on going. In the background, more side-by-side battles between Sierra Bowman and Brown. Aaron Brown trying to recover as much as he can. He's doing an incredible job, but it's still a long race to go for him.
Gonna be side by side down the hill in towards Puon now. And Nathaniel Fryman is gonna be in third place in front of Roman Lee, but Lee's not gonna be content with falling back this early in the event. He's gonna try to drag it the long way around the outside, but can't find the daylight here through the next chicane. Now we're going to have to wait until Blanchimont or the bus stop for Roman Lee's opportunity. On board with Kelton Quick here. And it looks like he's calm, cool, and collected. Minimal steering inputs being given and no major corrections. So it looks like he's doing just fine right now.
You know, if these two keep battling, I would actually expect Adrian Puebla to come into this battle as well. He's quite rapid behind. He's 5 seconds is the gap right now, but if this sort of antics continues side by side right now up ahead, this is going to be Lee and Fryman down into the braking zone. Who is gonna give? I would imagine the inside line is going to take the one here, and it does. That's going to be Lee gaining that position for right now, but again, this is that slipstream battle that we talk about. You pass and you be passed. That's the way it goes. While all of this is happening as well, by the way, that slipstream, speaking of that, has been thoroughly broken by Jordan Johnson. He is now 2 seconds in the lead, so Jordan just needs to keep it consistent if he wants to bring this one home in the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson is just on another level. I mean, yes, he's got a 7K rating on the platform, but I mean, just his outright pace and the grit that he has. We talk to him, you know, week after week throughout the various championships that he's in, and he just says the same thing over and over again. It comes down to consistency and practice and determination. As we go side by side into Lacombe's, and you always wish that there was an easier answer to just getting good at iRacing or getting good at sim racing and being that fast, and sometimes it really just is about the experience that you're able to get, time in the seat. You know, we're not paying for tires, we're not paying for fuel. So all the time in the rig is money well spent.
No, absolutely. And of course, we are on the lovely iRacing platform as well. So if you are interested, get involved with iRacing. It is the absolute pinnacle of motorsport simulators. And it hosts amazing competitions like this, the Team America Talent Scout event. And on top of that, now on iRacing, by the way, is a great little time to plug it, we have some time trial servers that are active as well. So if you're looking to get out there and practice for screen to speed, as we mentioned earlier, we have the upcoming Wednesday practice. You can get involved at any time you want. Join the screen to speed and scan that QR code on the right-hand side. These are all women's championship. But on top of that, of course, the time trials are open to absolutely everybody. And we highly encourage you to get out, set some times in the time trial server, and go and show your muster and show what you got. It's going to be the GR86's due. You definitely want to get involved. Now, though, we take a look ahead. This is a three-way battle for third position that I will say time and time again is not going anywhere. A knife fight in a phone booth, I think, is an understatement at this point, Saga. Roman Lee, Kelton Quick, and Fryman, they have put on a show and a half and continue to do so. Look at this.
They really do continue to show up and show out. Every single event Roman Lee and Kelton Quick have been in has been quite entertaining. There goes Quick to the outside run through LaSource, giving it up to Roman Lee. And importantly enough, They're losing touch with Nathaniel Fryman up ahead. He's 6/10 up the road. So like I said earlier, if they want to catch up, they're going to have to decide to work together now as we're into the final 5.
It's getting a little too late for them at this point if they want to really catch up Jordan Johnson and make that overtake. But it is still possible, as you said. It's just going to take a lot of determination and, well, working together, which, as you can see, probably not going to happen in the next few laps. These two are at each other's throat, and I would even go as far as saying 3. Fryman, he's got the pace, but I think both drivers, I think Kelton Quick and Roman Lee, are technically quicker than Fryman, but they keep doing this to each other and making issues. And it's a lot more difficult to gain positions when you have Kelton Quick or Roman Lee constantly diving down your inside.
Making looks left, right, and center. Here comes a spin. That's going to be Jesse Lavrin. The number 83 at Bruxelles trying to get a loop back in the right direction. He's able to do so. The number 83 down 5 positions, unfortunately, on the evening. Let's get a replay of what happened to Lavrin here. Was he pushed or did he jump all on his own? Tough to see from that angle, Mike.
He's definitely contact was made there, but to be fair to the other driver, I don't know if Jesse left enough room there. That kind of looked like I don't want to say self-inflicted error, but certainly one that the stewards will have to take a look at and will judge accordingly. But I think that one, unfortunately for Jesse, is going to be no penalty given. But again, I am just the mere commentator. I could be wrong. Puebla and Turner going at it right now. These are two drivers that also have had quite a solid race so far. Puebla up 17, now 18 positions if he can make this one stick. And of course, Bronson Turner up 7 respectively. So two drivers having quite a good day. Let's hope it stays that way and it doesn't end in tears like we've seen from others. This move, though, I'm pretty sure is going to be signed, sealed, and delivered from Adrian Puebla. He just has to go later on the brakes, run your opponent out of room, and don't spin at the apex, Adrian.
Got a good run coming down into Rouge. This is going to set him up well down the Kemmel Straight and into Lacombe's. It's not necessarily going to help him here and now. The slipstream takes a while to build up. The vortex of doom, yada yada. But side by side here between Adrian Puebla, who's trying to make that lucky number 19 tonight, Roman Lee in the battle for the podium. With Nathaniel Fryman and Kelton Quick, this one's going to be a drag to the line, won't it, Mike?
Oh, this is so exciting, and I just hope it doesn't end in disaster. That's the only thing that I'm just crossing everything that I can possibly cross. Let's hope these drivers can keep their pride in check and not go for any moves that are unnecessary. Speaking of some unnecessary moves, it looks like Aaron Brown just picked up a slowdown penalty with that yellow flag, so losing a little bit of time himself here, but still a great drive for Aaron Brown. He's up 6 positions from where he started, which could have been so much more, assuming everything went to plan. But as we all know, Sagar, when it comes to racing, no plan survives first contact, especially with a grid full of FIA F4 race cars.
I don't think that's a saying, Mike, but you'll make it one. I'll trust you
enough
on that one. I've heard it somewhere, I swear. Jackie X said it. No, on board with Cale Davidson now as we chase down Bronson Turner and Adrian Puebla. Oh my goodness, this battle has been brewing up for a long time. This is going to be white flag next time by for the leaders, and an epic battle for the podium spots going to continue up ahead. But here is the look at Cale Davidson and Bronson Turner and Adrian Puebla. Puebla loses out for just a moment, and there are 2 moments now as he gets passed by Cale Davidson in the number 6.
Oh, this is going to be very close coming into the braking zone. I saw a little bit of loose car control at the apexes, but thankfully everybody is in line. Oh my goodness, Adrian Puebla nearly gets binned off. White flag, by the way, is out, folks. This is going to be the last lap. The gloves, they have been off for a while now. This is an MMA fight. We're kicking shins. We're stepping on toes. We're breaking ribs right now. This is an all-out war between P3 to 5 and then P6 down to P10. Everywhere you look, there's battling side by side up the hill. Down they go onto Arouge and Radion and through the Kemmel Straight. Roman Lee, where is he going to finish? Side by side with Nathaniel Freeman. Kelton Quick, can he spoil this party as well, as he's going to be in the background trying to find his way in any way that he can, trying to split the gap, trying to find the inside. Nothing is working. Right now, Fryman is going to be the one to gain the position. Lee down in fourth, and Quick just playing that 3D game of chess that he's also familiar with. In the background, it's a similar battle as it looks like the Williams of Davidson is gonna get by. Turner now battling with Puebla, and in the background, Halsband and Alvarez, I can't even speak. Halsband and Jacob are trying to pick their stars, and where do they make a move? They have 3 cars battling up ahead of them. This is a bit of a headache, I would imagine. Still, every bit of track being used so far. Side by side into Puon. Not an overtaking opportunity that you expect to see every single day, but Bronson Turner, he's hungry like a wolf. Where is he going to make the move stick? Johnson has disappeared into the sunset, and he is laughing at all of this battling happening. Batty, by the way, still in second. He has done everything that he can, but it has not been enough. This continuing on, though, all the way down to the bus stop chicane. Jordan Johnson, who's on his way firmly to the bus stop chicane first and ready to finish first. And on top of that, a hat trick of victories for the Team America Talent Scout event. Jordan Johnson has been nothing short of superb this entire time. Through the bus stop, hits the curb on the left, hits the curb on the right, and the checkered flag is graciously awaiting him as he takes the victory for the Team America Talent Scout Event 3. Looking further back, the battle of the century, contact between Roman Lee, Kelton Quick, and Davidson as they fight their way to the line, and it will finish in that order. Behind them, as I can't even take a breath, it's going to be Davidson, Turner, Jacob, Puebla, Halsband, all in that order. Continuing on, Sauger, Aaron Brown squirming his way to the line. Can he get the move? It's a photo finish, but Bowman manages to take it. Aaron Brown nearly pips him, but finishes 14th. Holy smoke, Sauger. There's still battles happening.
Unbelievable photo finish there from P6 all the way to P10. We have less than 2/10 separating that entire field of drivers. Absolute phenomenal finish as we get a meatball flag for a couple of drivers that are having some brief moments coming through Blanchiment.
Yeah, an unfortunate way to finish there for those two. Shaw and Jellison contact on the final lap and limping back home to the checkered flag. Thankfully, they will both take that flag. The only drivers that won't, Herschel, unfortunately 3 laps down. Andrew Herschel, a race of what could have been. He was shooting for the top 3 here in this event. It just didn't work out for him. Hats off, though, for the effort. And as we get on to the next event, I certainly hope to see him in a little bit better form and a little bit more positions gained. A tough one for some here, Sauger, but a dominant one for others. Jordan Johnson, the talk of the town. I say this every single time, but he just continues to make his voice ever louder.
Absolutely, and he got that hat trick. My hat is definitely off to him tonight. He pulled out an amazing 6-second gap to Dylan Batty at the end of the day, who got P2. Nathaniel Fryman in a commanding 3rd. He definitely worked for it tonight and pulled out all the stops to climb 2 to get up into 3rd. I mean, just the photo finish between Cale Davidson all the way down to Eric Halsband. So many great moments here. I am just waiting to talk to the driver because I want to hear what they thought about the race and their perspective, because from mine, I almost wish I was on track with him, Mike.
No, I have to agree. Dylan Batty, I'm very curious to hear how he thinks. I wonder what he could have done differently to just get to that pace of Jordan. I mean, he was so close throughout the entirety. His fastest lap was a 2:23.3 compared to a 2:22.3 of Jordan Johnson. That's an entire second difference. Now, that's not the average lap times that we saw, but just in terms of raw pace, Dylan just wasn't quite there, and I wonder if there was something he could have done to do it. Now, also Nathan Fryman finishing in third. My goodness, wow. But also, of course, these results, we will be hearing from the top three in terms of the official standings. So once we have the points tallied up, unofficial standings, I should say. So once we have all the points tallied up, we will hear from the winners there. But I think it's safe to say that Jordan Johnson and Dylan Batty have secured P1 and P2. P3 is the one that we're kind of up in the air about right now.
It's going to be closer. Could even be a potential tie between Fryman and Lee. But yeah, I mean, just this series, I'll stop calling it a championship, Mike. This series continues to provide excellent racing, period. The racing quality is absolutely there. Tonight we had 25 drivers take on the Circuit de Spa Francorchamps and the F4 machinery. This isn't the greatest combo in the world. I mean, it's no GT4 at Sonoma, my home track, or anything, or Mazda MX-5s at Laguna Seca, but it is a great combo to be had, and it really was an amazing show. I'm super excited for the next event. I absolutely cannot wait, and I know we have more in-it events coming up right around the corner just next week, Mike.
Yes, we do. We, of course, have our Screen to Speed race this next weekend. And on top of that, we have our NASCAR race as well. The truck race is going to be over in Texas, and we highly encourage you to get involved. That's just going to be a Discord race. Nothing too, competitive about it. It's going to be purely casual. We encourage everybody to join, as we do with all of our series. And, on that note as well, where we talk just a little bit more about Team America and what Team America is, a little reminder is we saw a few incidents here today. And part of that, of course, is due to the fact that we invite everybody into Team America. So whether or not you have that dominant skill that Jordan Johnson has, or you're not quite there yet and still not learning the ropes, but you're able to compete up at that top level, at least be consistent enough, they clash sometimes when you have them out on track. And so that's where we get to see that very interesting combination of drivers that maybe are great oval drivers that can't quite do the formula stuff, great formula drivers that can't quite do the GTs. And with that, we see a massive field spread of different levels. But again, with the Team America, it's not about results. We're not looking at who wins the race. It's about how well you do, how you come back from adversity, how you get into a collision and then manage to drive back into the podium. Those are what we like to see here. And on top of that, of course, just cool, common level heads. We want to see the drivers that are respectful to each other, as well as everybody at the end of the day. You get out on track, you door bang a little bit. It's all fine and good if you can shake hands with the other person and say, you know what, that was good racing.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're all here for at the end of the day. It's a community, a sense of belonging, and a sense of purpose. And you definitely get that here, and it is building something very, very unique. And from the ground up, this is a good community of people that are all trying to build each other up and not put each other down. So this community that is continuing to grow is going to flourish into something just naturally beautiful as we grow into these NASCAR events, Screen to Speed, Team America, Talent Scout events, and more fun events around the corner, including the Trackmania events. I can't wait to see what's in store coming up this weekend and obviously into the future as well.
Yeah, and of course, as well, we have our Wednesdays on top of that. And if you are interested, we also have a racing team, the In It team, folks. If you are looking to get involved with all of the iRacing official events and you're looking for a team, scan that QR code and fill out the form and get involved. We're looking for drivers of all calibers, of all different paces. Again, we want to be able to cover multiple splits when we get out there, so we love to see the variety. And on top of that, again, we have our Wednesday series where we kind of it's not necessarily a training full out, but we do use that to train other drivers. We use it to help other people and gain a little bit more pace. And of course, with all of the various experts that we have, with formula experts, with oval experts, with even some dirt experts, heck, with some Swedish people that we have joining our community, big shout out to them. And so seeing the variety of drivers, seeing the variety of different skill levels is so amazing. And we highly encourage you to get involved here at our In It team. Again, you can head over to our website if you don't have a phone to scan that QR code. It's going to be over at inesports.gg and /car sim as well if you want a little bit of a shortcut. Also, we, of course, as Sagar just mentioned, have our esports Track Mania here in 2026. If you want to look at getting involved with our league, scan that QR code. You can find all of the information on how you can sign up over on the EA platform. Also, of course, a massive thank you to everybody that does make these possible, Regadget and friends. Of course, we're live over on Esports Edge and many others. eClutch, of course, massive thank you to you guys as well. Sounds like, Sagar, you've had a little bit of time here to catch up with our third place finisher here tonight. It's going to be Roman Lee.
Roman Lee, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you have a copy, sir?
I mean, definitely an aggressive night with the draft. Was definitely kind of hard to pick your battles, but I had great pace, which kind of helped me at least stay towards the front of the mini packs. But I mean, that draft kind of just a sitting duck at times, you know.
Absolutely, and we talked about that during the race broadcast. What was it that was the driving factor tonight? Was it the dirty air hurting the car, or was it the slipstream helping the car?
I think the dirty air, I noticed it a few times. It was kind of minimal, at least on my end. It's just my kind of style, I guess, through the feel of the car, just kind of getting used to that balance. I'm not used to the form of the cars, but that draft was extremely powerful. Kind of helped you at least stay up front, even if you don't have the pace.
You say you're not used to these formula cars, and I raise an eyebrow at you and scoff because you came out in P3, Roman Lee. It's a pretty good result on the evening and a hard charge through the field as well. Now, is there anybody you want to thank or anybody you'd like to shout out on the evening tonight?
I wanted to shout out Andrew Herschel. He's kind of helped me out through all this because I'm typically a GT3 driver, and even through the last round with the GT4s. And this round as well, I got the car yesterday, so the day before, so it's not too much prep time, and he's kind of helped me kind of get up to speed with that. And he had an unfortunate race 1, I think, but kind of got it back up and in the race 2 to get a good result.
And that's the type of community that we're talking about here at Init, willing to help each other out and lend a helping hand. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Roman Lee, and thank you very much for showing out. Put on a great show tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a great turnout.
So that's Roman Lee, everybody. P3, again, I feel like he's getting a little frustrated with that P3 finish. I would like to see him a little bit higher up, you know, as he's, of course, getting used to the podiums, though. I think the podium life is quite nice. I don't think you can complain that much, but at the end of the day, I mean, somebody's got to beat Jordan Johnson here. He's been absolutely all over it. And the fact that Roman picked up the car a couple days ago, and Andrew, by the way, Andrew Herschel joined us on Wednesday. He did mention that as well. So if you're looking to get involved with the community, we have loads of drivers in Team America that are, of course, going to be doing that. But with that, again, get involved. We have our next interview, as I've had a little bit of time here to catch up with Dylan Batty. Dylan, do you have a copy, sir?
Got you loud and clear.
Awesome. Dylan, a bit of a race of what if. Now, Jordan Johnson, you managed to keep up with him for pretty much the first half of each race, especially in race 1. It was very, very dicey for the good half of it. What exactly was it that kind of led you to fall off? I know there was that contact in race 1, but I guess what more could you have done potentially to pip Jordan Johnson or just gain that little bit more pace?
I know for the first race, it was, I don't remember who it was, spinning out and made me lose the 0.8 that I needed to Jordan to stay in his draft. So that kind of cost that race. And then the second race, the same deal, was just trying to stick with him. And then I made a small mistake in one of the turns and kind of lost that gap, which ended up costing it. But I was trying to just keep pace with him the whole race. And it turns out, obviously, I raced with Jordan in the past and he's a lot faster than me. So that is what it is. But I was able to keep pace with him for a while, which I'm proud of.
Is a very impressive drive. I was giving you props pretty much the entire time. And with that, of course, as we get ready to head into the next race, we go into some LMP2s down in Brazil. Is that going to be a bit of a difference maker when it comes to changing from the formulas over to the hypercar style?
For me personally, no. The only race I've done this year was Daytona, and I don't drive GT3s, and that was the only GT3 race I've really done. I'm more of a Formula person, and I really love driving the LMP2 as well. So I think it'll be a bit different, but I don't know if I'll be able to partake in it as school ends 2 days before that. And then I don't have a rig at home. I'm only able to run at school. So if I'm able to get a Logitech from school home, then I'll be able to run, but kind of just depends on that.
I certainly hope to see you out there, Dylan. Now, before we do move on here tonight, is there anybody that you would like to thank for your P2 finish here tonight?
Everybody here at Ball State Esports. I know there's quite a few of us in the field tonight. Me, Kelton, Nathaniel, Jake, and Kale. So just for them for putting the practice in all week with all of us and past couple of weeks. Alif for helping us out. I know a lot of people in the esport community know his name. My girlfriend for watching, and just my family as well.
Amazing. Well, everybody, Dylan Batty, your P2 finisher here for tonight, and hopefully, again, we'll be able to see you when it comes to the LMP2s in Brazil. Have a great rest of your evening, Dylan.
Thank you, you guys as well.
And last, but certainly not least, Sagar, you've had a chance to catch up with Jordan Johnson as we round him up here, and a dominant one. I'll let you take it from here, Sagar.
Jordan Johnson, another win, but now it's time to relax with your furry friend, it looks like. How does it feel to walk away with the hat trick tonight?
Yeah, it feels good. Just really trying to survive the race is all. It's a chaotic one with very low horsepower, very long track and long straights.
Now, what was going on early in heat number one? It seemed like you either got a slowdown going through a Rouge and Radion, or you backed off significantly and the pack was able to catch up with you. Was there something that went wrong for you during the first heat where the pack was able to catch back up, or was it just a slipstream being that powerful from the guys behind?
Oh god, no, I hope the slipstream isn't that powerful. No, I was messing with some stuff off screen and I accidentally hit my ignition bind, so I had to take a second to figure out what happened and turn it back on and then got back up to speed.
Holy Toledo, with even that mistake, you were able to pull out the back-to-back wins tonight. Now, Jordan, what does it take to come back with wins like this? What is your race preparation like? And what do you do before going into a race tonight?
Well, I mean, with the extended practice, I kind of just come in and with my experience, I'm kind of leaning on that for the most part. I really just had a base setup that I worked with, and coming around Spa, I gave it a couple chances at the aero trim and then just ran pretty much the max straight line speed that I could have put into the car out of everything, aero and my suspension geometry and so on. So, yeah, just lean on the car, find out what was best. At an event like this, especially with the draft being so strong, I just really was focused on surviving, to be completely honest. Over second and a half worth of lap time if you got the draft right, so there wasn't really much point in trying to push it any harder than I needed to.
Very fair. Thanks for the details, Jordan Johnson. It's always good to get the perspective of the drivers and what goes through their head and how they plan to attack a race. Now, Jordan, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or thank on the win tonight?
Yeah, just my team, Solpec Precision Racing, all the help that they do. We've been working together a lot, picking up a lot of new members and drivers that have been contributing a ton to the team, and been able to put together some really good efforts in some of the events and some other leagues as well. So can't thank them as much or enough, but yeah, other than that, that's about it for me.
Thank you very much, Jordan Johnson, for showing up, showing out, and putting on a great one. Have a great night, sir, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there.
Thank you, you too.
Well, Sagar, we can start to fly this plane home and land it here, at least get ready to. What a race. I gotta say, this sets us up massively for what, in my opinion, again, personally, this is gonna be my favorite race coming up. I absolutely love Interlagos. I think that is one of, if not the best tracks in the world, and we get to see the LMP2s, a very difficult car to drive, a very high downforce, high power, but not quite as high as a obvious hypercar, but still, certainly nothing to shake a stick at in that Dallara.
No, we're gonna see a lot of, well, more slipstream battles. The run out of 13, 14 into 15. It's not really a straightaway, but there are marshal posts there, so they all get corner numbers. So the long run coming through the infield, down into the first corner, through the S's de Senna, and in towards turn 4, and the runoff area there is sure to collect a few drivers. It's going to be a good one at Interlagos in just a few weeks' time, Mike.
It certainly will be. And before, of course, we can take a quick little moment here to highlight kind of exactly what we saw here tonight. I mean, the sheer dominance from Jordan Johnson, I think, is obviously the first thing that we can point out. Dylan Batty doing such an incredible job. As he mentioned, he's raced Jordan before, but the pace just wasn't quite there. But I'm really hoping, as he said, he's a LMP2 driver. He's a Formula and LMP2 driver, so I'm really excited to see if he can show up and get out on circuit and put a little bit of pressure on Jordan Johnson. As Jordan said, he kind of relies on his normal skill and his pace to just come in and be quicker than most, which works a lot of the time. But I think if somebody here puts in the practice, grinds a little bit, and can get that lap time down, I think Jordan's going to be under some serious threat. And the drivers that I kind of have my eye on, Roman Lee, Kelton Quick, really kind of a standout driver in my mind today, constantly battling, constantly getting involved with, not incidents, but getting involved with racing and then being clean as a result. So not getting involved with incidents, I guess, is the better way of putting it. Bronson Turner, another solid drive. Eric Hausband, a rough one for him today. I think that's obviously being said. He would like to have finished in a higher than P10 in race 2. Adrian Puebla, again, these are all names that when it comes to GT3, we didn't quite see as good of a result. So having these different manufacturers, these different car classes, is making for some really exciting racing.
It sure is. The different class combinations with different track combinations, the drivers are constantly put on a knife's edge every single time we race. And it's a unique variety. Interlagos and the hypercars is gonna be super fun and flat out. It's gonna be amazing. Looking forward to that race, Mike, but all good things unfortunately have to come to an end, don't they?
They do, and let's start to wrap this one up, and let's talk about the race that is to come. Again, we just mentioned it. This is what is up next, May 3rd, here in the LMP2s at Interlagos. Scan that QR code if you want to head on over to the website. It's a shortcut, but the website, if you are curious, is initesports.gg/carsim, CARSIM. You can get involved. We have, of course, women's category as well as open class, and it is for U.S. citizens only as well. So that is, of course, a little bit of a side note. Now, more events to come as well throughout this year for Team America. Make sure you sign up for each and every one of them. On top of that, our Tsukuba race up next in the GR86s. That's going to be April 19th. We got practices coming up this Wednesday. And on top of that, we have a time trial server on the official iRacing time trials. Go over there, check it out, and get involved with Screen to Speed. It's our all-women's championship, and we highly encourage you get involved. And if you yourself aren't going to get involved, or you already have, tell some friends, get them out on track, as we highly encourage inclusivity here and would like to see everybody out on circuit. This is the calendar as well. Again, April 19th for Team America, April 19th for Tsukuba coming up in the Toyota GR86 is the 12th for Spa is today. But Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, otherwise known as Interlagos, the LMP2s on May 3rd. Sign up now. Head over to the website, initesports.gg. Again, we thank absolutely everybody for watching here on whichever platform you're watching on, whether you're watching on eClutch, whether you're watching on Esports Edge over on Roku, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you are on one of those two platforms. Other than that, of course, we thank you all for tuning in. And if you do want to get involved with our kind of more casual series that we have, this is going to be our ovals that we have coming up in the Texas Motor Speedway, April 18th in the NASCAR trucks. You don't want to miss it. There's new NASCAR trucks. Well, not so new anymore, of course, but has more recently been released. So if you're looking to get out there and try out some of the newer iRacing content, this is absolutely the place to do so. You don't want to miss it. The last race was incredible. On top of that, we have our iRacing official events team. This is the Init team, where if you are interested in signing up, scan that QR code to get an application. And if you would like to participate in any of the iRacing official events, again, we're looking for all different skill levels here as we want to compete in multiple splits. We don't just want to compete at the top. We want to have a good variety for anybody that wants to join. So again, if you are in iRacing and you are warm-blooded and want to get out on track, scan that QR code and join the team. That's pretty much everybody, by the way, in case you were curious. So get involved here at Init and get involved in the Discord as well, because you can find amazing events here like our Trackmania League that we also have. That's going to be over on the EA platform over on Trackmania. You can sign up for our league there, and more information again on our website. All of these wonderful things that you can find over on initesports.gg/carsim. It is a jam-packed website, and speaking of jam-packed websites, this is one that you absolutely need to check out. If you are in the market for a PC, the Phoenix is the one you're looking for. This is an extremely affordable build by an amazing company as well. Of course, Regadget, delivering PCs from refurbished PC. So you can send your computer into them. They will pay for shipping and take it in. They will refurbish it and they will turn it into something great like this, where you can pick it up on their website over at regadget.com/gaming. And if you use code INIT, you can get a little bit of a discount. The typical price range is going to be around $1,500 for an i7 with a 3060, 32 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and more. Again, how could you miss out on a deal like that? Regadget providing opportunities as well for less fortunate families, schools, libraries, and so on. Lots of different communities get involved there. So if you want to send your PC to a landfill, don't send it over to Regadget. They'll pay for it and they'll get it refurbished and get it out to somebody else. And they will, of course, be able to put great use to it. Sagar. Also, massive thank you as well to AK Esports UK for putting on the production, and Tom Bryant, of course, for making everything possible here tonight. But Sagar, anything you'd like to say before we close this one out here tonight?
I just wish I knew about Regadget before I bought my new PC myself. I could have saved a ton of money on my brand new PC. We talked about it for an extensive amount of time and the parts necessary or sourcing it myself. And at the end of the day, I think Regadget really is the place to just perform a one-stop shop to get yourself the producing PC, the gaming PC, the work PC that you really need, the powerhouse your needs and desires. With all the resulting programs that you can run, you need a lot of processing power, and Regadget PC has the capability to deliver.
They certainly do. I have one literally sitting right next to me. I can't show you, unfortunately, because my camera, well, we got to stay. Not going to happen. Sorry. But it is, Source, just trust me. It is right next to me. And the Phoenix is a great PC as well. Now, folks, that's going to do it here today for us. This is Team America Talent Scout Event 3. Done and dusted. What an event as well. Spa, FIA F4s, any Formula car at Spa is a good day, let's be honest, regardless of what category, and they never fail to deliver. That's going to do it, though, for us tonight here, folks. On that note, again, massive thank you to everybody that did tune in. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching over on eClutch or Esports Edge, we thank you so much for tuning in. But I've been Mike Noss. Alongside me has been Sagar Bakshi, our producer, Tom Bryant, up in the stands. I hope absolutely everybody has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.